Listen to me. If you are retired, or you are getting ready to step into those golden years, you do not have time for games. You do not have time for what-ifs, and you certainly do not have time for your own hard-earned money to be locked up in banking purgatory when you need to pay your electricity bill, buy your groceries, or cover a sudden medical copay. When you have cash in your hand, cold, hard cash, and you put it into a bank, you expect to use it now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now. But we live in a digital world, and many of you are using online-focused banks like Capital One. So, you are asking the absolute right question: is cash deposited at Capital One available immediately? Let me give you the straight, honest-to-God answer, and then we are going to talk about the trap that so many retirees fall into because they don't understand how the rules change depending on where and how you hand over that money. The short answer is yes. If you deposit actual cash, green bills, at a Capital One branch with a teller, or at an official Capital One ATM, or even at a partner retail store using their Add Cash in Store feature on your phone, that money is generally available to you immediately. It is ready to keep you safe. But do not stop listening there, because this is where the fear creeps in. This is where the mistakes happen, and a mistake with your cash flow in retirement is a financial emergency. Let's talk about the problem. You are on a fixed income. Every single dollar has a job to do, and it has to do it on time. Maybe you sold an old lawnmower for $500 cash, or maybe your kids gave you some cash to pay you back for a trip. You take that cash, you deposit it, and you assume, because it's cash, that you can immediately write a check or make an online payment to your auto insurance. Here is the fear: you make the deposit, you schedule the payment, and 2 days later, you get a notification that your payment was declined, or worse, you get hit with an overdraft fee. You feel panic. You think, did my money vanish? Is the bank holding my cash hostage? Let me explain the system so you can master it. If you walk into a physical Capital One branch and hand your cash to a human being behind the counter, or if you slide it into a Capital One ATM, including those fancy Capital One cafes, that cash is recognized by the system immediately. You can walk away, pull out your debit card, and spend it. But what if you don't live near a branch? Capital One is famous for its high-yield 360 savings accounts, but they don't have branches on every corner. So, they created a program called Add Cash in Store. You open your Capital One app, you get a barcode, you go to a CVS, a Walgreens, or a 7-Eleven, you hand the cashier your cash, they scan the barcode, and boom, the money is in your account, usually within minutes, completely free of charge. But here is the multi-thousand-dollar question, and you need to write this down: what account did you put that money into? This is the trap. This is the question that nobody is asking, but it is the one that will freeze your funds. If you deposit your cash into a Capital One checking account, like their 360 checking, that cash is ready for you to withdraw or spend immediately. But if you deposit that same cash, or if you deposit a check, into a Capital One savings account, like the 360 Performance Savings, Capital One can, and often will, place a hold on those funds for up to 4 business days before you are allowed to withdraw them. Read that again. 4 business days. If you deposit cash on a Thursday, 4 business days means you might not have full access to withdraw that money until the following Wednesday. If you have an automated mortgage payment coming out of that savings account, or if you need to transfer that money out to help a family member in an emergency, you are stuck. You are locked out of your own money. Why? Because savings accounts have stricter regulations and different internal holding policies than checking accounts. And let's address another major point of confusion. Many of you confuse cash with checks. I hear this all the time. Susie, I deposited cash, but it was a cashier's check. A cashier's check is not cash. A traveler's check is not cash. A government Social Security check is not cash. Those are paper checks. If you deposit any check, even a mobile deposit using your smartphone, that money is not immediate. Mobile check deposits generally take at least one business day to clear, and if it's a large check, or if your account is relatively new, the bank can legally hold those funds for much longer. So, what is your actionable takeaway? How do you protect yourself so you never have to worry about whether your money is active and available? First, you must understand your accounts. If you are depositing cash because you need to pay a bill today or tomorrow, you must deposit that cash directly into your checking account, not your savings account. Once the cash is safe in your checking account and available, you can then choose to transfer it to savings if you want to earn interest. Never deposit cash directly into a savings account if you anticipate needing to withdraw or transfer those exact funds within the next week. Second, if you do not live near a Capital One branch, do not be afraid of the retail store deposit. Use the Capital One app, go to CVS or Walgreens, and use the Add Cash in Store feature. It is secure, it is fast, and it avoids the delay of mailing a deposit or waiting for a check to clear. But remember, there is a limit. You can only deposit up to $999 per transaction, $1,500 a day, and $5,000 a month using this retail cashier method. If you have more cash than that, say, from selling a car, you must go to an official Capital One ATM or a branch to deposit it. Third, always check your available balance, not just your current balance. Your current balance shows all the money that has been swiped or entered, but your available balance is the only number that matters. That is the actual amount of money you are allowed to spend right this second. Before you write a check, before you authorize a debit, you log into that app or call the bank and you look at the available balance. Retirement is supposed to be the time of your life where you breathe easy. You have worked 40, 50 years to accumulate your nest egg. Do not let a lack of knowledge about banking hold time stress you out.